just had you muted, Ra. Why are you doing that? Ah, must be the alternate. Righto. I gotta go on this screen. What's going on there? Turn that off there. Sweet. That's better. Wonder if I flip it with the better camera. We'll try that too. So I'm just using my phone right now, so we'll have a little. I think you can do that one, can't you? Yeah, it's better. Then you get the better camera. Let's see if that works better. Pretty level. That's a bit better. Bit better quality. Pasadena, Texas. Ah, it's chilling, man. Fucking neck's a little tweaked out today. Freaking old man issues. I swear that's how pathetic it is when you get older, you injure yourself sleeping. Gotta love it. But I thought, why not? We'll just crack the phone out. We'll do a little bit of a phone live stream. Pasadena, Texas. We've got Houston, Texas, Sacramento. Oh, Sacktown. Old Sacktown's in the house. Sacramento. Cali. I was about to sing California Love, but won't put you through that. We've got Meadows in here, look out. Yes, I was messing around with some tabs for the next one. No, it's not a new one, bro. This one's been on the channel since the beginning. We've seen the Red Jackson with the whoever had it before, I think painted it. I don't know if they painted it or just they cleared over the old, but you can see it's like a marbleized finish, like a candy. They call it a candy finish when you it's like a translucent red clear. That's what they do with them. What is the worst guitar and amp I've ever played? Maybe my beginner one. Oh, the worst one. I remember when I was in, probably when I was in America, and I had no guitar, and they had a cheap Dean. That was. I had a cheap Dean, and it was a Randy Jackson. Yeah, it was a Randy Jackson practice amp that came with an acoustic guitar. They paid like $20 for the guitar and amp package, and I was playing a Randy Jackson little 5-watt practice amp. Yeah, and that was it. But I took some pedals, but I boosted it with a Boss SD1 overdrive pedal and chucked a wire into it and played it. So, I don't know if there's like, I'm the sort of person, man, I'll plug into a home stereo. I don't care what you've got. If I can get a sound out of it, I'll make it work. But if you want to say the worst, probably, or maybe the worst I've ever played was when I was a kid. I plugged into a home stereo. That's literally how I started. Used to have like a microphone input in stereos back in the day, and this was like a cheap stereo. My parents had crap speakers. I think I freaking got a Metal Zone or something and plugged it into it. So that may be the worst. I probably nearly blew the thing up. Yeah, it was crap. It wasn't like a good hi-fi either. It was a nice stereo for the day, but it wasn't like as sick as what you can go. It only had like little speakers like this. But it was a nice one. I remember it was pretty, had like a slide out turntable. Had a, you know, even in my room I remember I had like a stereo, and they used to have these little tiny speakers like this. But I remember I had like a graphic EQ on it. Like, I come up in the time where, man, you just were happy with whatever. You know? Yeah, you know, the first arcade machines. You know, I grew up when Ataris came out. Like, literally when I was a kid, and I remember I would have been like about, because I'm born in the 70s, that like Betamax, the first tapes came out that you could have in your house. Yeah, I'm 48. I'm getting towards the end of the year. In like 3 and a bit months, I'll be 49. Yeah, the Atari 2600 with like the wood grain, and it was like Pong. So that was like before you had video players. Like, I remember that. Like, the Atari came out before you had and it was a Betamax, and then VHS. But that was the first one that came out, was Beta, and we got one of those. And yeah, then TVs didn't have remotes on them. You had to get up, all of that sort of stuff. Then VHS came out, and I remember you'd watch like these tapes of bands where it was just a home video, like a bodgy old camcorder, live footage. And yeah, there was no CDs, it was only vinyls and tapes. So I can remember, like, you were just like, you were thankful to have anything pretty much. And I remember how I used to have to do chores. I used to mow the lawns, wash the cars, and do the dishes. Or I had to do the dishes, and then we were lucky we got a dishwasher. So my job was to unpack the dishwasher. And for all of that, it was pretty good money. I'd mow the lawns, washing the cars, dishwasher. Always had to keep your room clean, make your own lunch, probably cook your dinner too, all that sort of stuff. And you get $20 a week. And that was when I was like a teenager. I'd get $20. And in Australia, it was like probably $15 or $20 for an album. So I'd have to do a couple of weeks, you know, and go, and there's only one place, and you'd have to catch a train or a bus, then a train to the train station and catch it to the city, because I live in Sydney, but out in the suburbs of Sydney. And it'd take you about, I swear, with the bus, the train, and the walking, would take you about 3 hours, just one way, to get to this one record store that had more extreme music. It was called Utopia, and it was like underground in Sydney. No one else, like any places out here, didn't stock anything. Like once you got into more like thrash, but even like the death metal and that, then that's when you had to go down to this place called Utopia and buy these tapes. And that's all you had was like a cassette Walkman. I've still got one here, like one of my first, I'll grab this one. This is one of the ones I got from my trip on a train. It's Carcass Symphonies of Sickness. That one, and I've got them up here. Because I just had some gronk that I used to grow up with trying to say, oh yeah. And there's my Deicide tape, first Deicide album. On tape. So I remember that, like when I was a kid, and I'd have my tape Walkman. I was like, would have been probably like 14 when I got it. That's how it used to be back in the day. Deicide on tape with the sleeves, inner sleeves. I remember that too, and it have you know, it had like all these pictures. There's the band, like inside, with their little artwork and that. An old graveyard. And I remember that one too, Stop the Madness. Drugs are no fun, drugs endanger the life. That was like a big thing, campaign back in the day. So now I need glasses to actually read this. But it's actually so small I can't even see it anymore. That's what happens, eh? So yeah, there's an early Carcass. I think I tried to play them, and now they end up wearing out tapes, and then they all sound all weird. They're all like fluttery and weird, and I wonder where this come out. 89. So 89, I probably would have been like 13 when I got that. So I remember when I first heard Symphonies of Sickness, I couldn't comprehend it. I was just like, what is this? At a local public library, that's pretty cool. Then eventually CDs come out not long after. I think it was CDs were out. You just bought tapes because they didn't have CD Walkmans. It was like first time you got a CD at your house, and then you would yeah, and then eventually, and the CD Walkmans used heaps of batteries. So remember that, like your the tape Walkmans kept going for a while even when CDs were out because they were way better on batteries. Oh, I've got Scorpio in here. Gonna have to get you on here one day, brother. Oh, you want me to do an online store? I should do it for, so I'm thinking of clearing out some stuff. Because that's, I don't know if you've seen, because I'm on here, I can now pick my phone up and move it around. Look at that. Oh crap. Might have to hold it. So there's my pedal collection there. Got me dime bag signed So yeah, I got lots of pedals. Stomp boxes down there. That's my main pedal board. That's pretty cool. I suppose you do it with the phone. I can do this, eh? There's my main pedal board. That's so I can just slide it around. It's on a breadboard with an extension cord, so I can move the foot pedals around that you use with your feet. And then ones you just stomp on. Each one of the amps, you got the Ninja, the EVH, the Australian. That one there. Oh yeah, here's my dime signature. That's a Gary Holt pedal. But yeah, you get the idea. Probably a bit crooked now, eh? That'll work. A bit crooked still. Yeah, it's pretty good. I'll take that. Amps look a little crooked, but you get the idea. I just like collecting them at the end of the day. That's why I have so many pedals. It's the only thing with this bloody stand. You got to get more of a... That's really all it comes down to. It's a collection. Man, be good if I had the spirit level on this thing. You get the idea. Seasick. Oh. Into Stones. Oh yeah. Yeah, it's a pretty popular one, eh? I like guitars, pedals, and a lot of them just sit on the shelves, eh? And you collect them over years. That always gets your hand going. So I've been doing that one with hammer-ons and pull-offs a lot. That like that, and then I was like, how about we try pick each note? That one freaking freshes you out. Haven't warmed up that well. Maybe I'll switch between fingers. Oh man, that would be brutal on a bass, eh? Oh, for sure. I think I've got bloody arthritis by now. It's more, but I don't feel like it's arthritis, like the joints are hurt. It's just weakness. Yeah, on base that would be killer. You'd be doing like a big stretch like that. That'd be crazy. All the legends of legends. We're all legends, brother. That's another one I've been messing with too. You take a octave chord, and then what you do, you just slide your pinky up one note, and then slide your slide your first finger back one fret. And then you have. That's what I'll finish on. No, I don't have any baritone guitars. Anything close to that's a multi-scale. So it's sort of like a baritone on the top. It's like 27.5 on the low end, a multi-scale. But other than that, no baritones. Yeah, I like sevens, they're cool as well. It's boost pedals are pretty much going to help your squeals, I'd say, more than anything. It's a fair bit of gain, and this is a Seymour Duncan Blackout, which is really hot pickup, awesome for squeals. But yeah, I'd say a boost pedal is what's going to help you the most. You can get them without them, obviously, but they just don't scream as hard. You'll notice it. And so with, yeah, and I'm just using a plug-in. This is all just through my computer, that sound. There's no amps in the room or pedals or anything. It's just a Soldano Neural DSP plug-in. You got 2 speakers there, 2 speakers there. Because this audio interface I've got, you can run 2 sets of speakers off it. So I've got 4 speakers going with a 12-inch sub down there. You're not going to really notice the sub, but in here, I'm really liking this plug-in. And just to plug into your computer while you're on your computer and that, and a lot easier way to write, and I'm really liking the sound. It just fills it out really nicely. If you want to then put on a drum program with it, then you're mixing in the drums with the guitars through the same speaker, makes it really cool. But yeah, this would probably work in an apartment. It's not super loud. I'm not going to probably talk over it. I reckon you could get away with that in an apartment. It'd just be like light music, listening to it, or like watching a movie. Would be no worse. Yeah, I can light up my amps behind me. I can light them up so hard that like they're actually too loud for me, and I still don't get complaints. But I'm pretty lucky where I am, and it's all just bricks. I've only got like the doors and windows on this side, the windows out here, and there's, people across the road, they're far away. So if you're in an apartment, it would suck. You can hear people farting people fart too loud in apartments, you can hear it. So it definitely can be a pain. And I would say that like having a bit of that low end resonance definitely does help you with wanting to play when you've got that. getting so much better, these plugins, for sure. And are you gonna get a YouTube channel going, Kaylee? Yeah, I'd recommend anyone to have a go doing it. Been pretty lucky with my channel so far. And I've sort of luckily found my little space here on YouTube, which at first when I started, yeah, I didn't really have that much of a plan. Oh, you already do, cool. How's it going for you? Gotta have a look on your thing. Awesome, brother. Where's your, go to your channel. Give us a look. There you go, brother. I'll subscribe for you. You got 122 now. Alright, you got the boss. What's that, katana? Oh yeah, nice little setup you got running there. You got the lights, you got a bit of stuff on the wall, a bit of colouring. Looks like you're a lefty, are you? Is it back to front camera? Looks like you're a lefty. Yep. Yeah, you can see like you've gone from 2 years ago playing in a bedroom on your bed to now having a bigger space. I can see you fixed your guitar. That's like an S series guitar. You can see that. Oh yeah, sweet. And you like peanut butter jelly time. Sweet. It's peanut butter jelly time. What's up, Stream Dojo? Yeah, no, it's cool if you're a lefty. I started off, I thought I was a lefty, and I don't think I would have been able to play like that, so yeah, my one is, I don't know, if you say what it's all about, it's, I now know, but it's all about falling in love with oneself, with self-oneness. Is that what you're talking about, being on your channel? Yeah, I don't know if mine is falling in love. I just like guitar. That's pretty much was my thing, and it was a weird journey. Anyone else who's like heard this story before, but I'll tell it again anyway. It was so I started with well, that was my third YouTube channel since 2006. This is my only one though on that TikTok spiritual community. Oh, sweet. Yeah, no, this is my first. I only started posting in July. I think it was about July last year, end of July. So I haven't even been on here for 2 years. I always had a YouTube account so I could watch videos and thumbs up and subscribe to people. but first time posting any videos was last year on YouTube. I did before, sorry, I will say, a while ago I did try to, and that was a whole, so I suppose I'm not being truthful there, that I did start a while ago, but it wasn't with no plans, it was just to upload a couple of videos. But no idea of like trying to grow a channel or anything, it was just like, so you could share it with friends type of thing. Maybe put on like 7 videos. And then you start getting the copyright strike. I was pretty much just doing riffs, and then I was never really on the videos. I would just take photos and other videos and like cut them up and mix them together with my music. That's all I was doing. So I actually never talked on video till last year. So it was the first time me being like this, talking, and first time trying to teach. And so basically, it started with I was on Facebook through these groups years ago. Started in like 2016, it probably would have been. Oh no, it would have been 2019, sorry, when I started Facebook. That's 2016 when I first joined Facebook. Yeah, it was an easy death metal pattern. That's when went really big. It's up over 80,000 views now. You're getting close to 90,000. Go to my studio. Last time I checked, it was 85,000. That one's doing the best. We're the one with the biggest. Why isn't it showing me there? Oh, there it is there. That one. That's the last 28 days. What is it saying? Yearly. So this year it's had it's had more than that. That's the one there. We're trying to navigate this one instead. It's easier when you do it on your phone, trying to figure out each one. And I'll just go to content. Where are you? And I do lots of really like more short to the point videos, which is another thing that I think you start to listen to people a lot. That was a while ago. It's going to be easy for me to find that one. Last page. Okay. Where are you? My number 1 video. There we are there. So it's had 81,000 views. The one, easy death metal patterns. And that's why you notice I do a lot of videos the same easy death metal patterns. Oh yeah. Oh, that one. Oh, you talking about noise is that's birds. That's some Australian birds for you fighting each other. That's the soldier birds. They're harassing some. They always hang around in packs and harass other birds. Yeah, they're annoying, eh? I can tell that noise, they're attacking something. That's their like firing each other up in sound. And they're just like working themselves up. And the little chip, 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 because it's coming into summer in Australia, so that little chip, chip, chip is the baby. That wick, 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 wick. That's the soldier bird's baby, the wick, 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 wick. Yeah, they get around in groups of like 10, maybe 15 sometimes, and they attack birds. And you can see him, there's always one like that. He's like the fire up one of them. They've got a couple of them going whap, 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 whap. It's like they're just G'ing each other up to punch on. I can hear the little chip, 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 that's the baby. They're pretty dumb. Because the cats are just like, yeah, no worries. Oh no, I wouldn't scare any of them off, man. Australian birds don't get scared easy. Nothing scares them. They'll attack you, they're freaking so mental. Is that king to other animals or kind to other animals? Because animals aren't kind to each other in Australia. They attack each other and kill each other. And ram their beaks through their freaking throats and then eat them. You're like, oh, isn't it cute birds? You just see this bird fly down and go, oh, bam, and just take it out and put his beak through its throat and it's got stuff hanging out, and then it's like, rah, 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 and starts chewing on it and eating it, and you're just like, oh yeah, cool, no worries. Get into it, birdie. Oh, they're psycho, bro. They'll take, magpies are taken out. There's these magpies in Australia, they'll take your eye out. Yeah, and then magpies are savage too. They're pretty cool around us, but if you go around their nest when it's breeding season, like literally babies have had their eyes taken out by magpies. Because they'll just swoop down and go for your eyes and shit. But you can see him coming. If you see him up in a tree when you're walking, and you see him going like, I'm thinking if you're doing it in my head, they got their beak and they start doing it either side of the branch, going whop, 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 banging it. It's like they're sharpening their knife. If you see them going bang, bang, bang either side of the branch when it's spring, you know you're going to get messed up. They're coming for you. They're sharpening their beak, getting it ready to go. You're like, oh yeah, I see you, bro. You want some, do you? Let's go. Then you try and grab a stick or something. If it comes for you, it's freaking Mac. They're hectic, mate. See? You gotta know, but hey, it's like anything in life. If you walk into a situation unprepared and thinking you're in Goldilocks land and everything's freaking sweet, you're gonna get messed up, bro. Thinking you're running this show. That's for real, brother. No horror movies. That's for real. Literal. You'll have to come to Australia. I'll show you some of the animals, mate. That's legit, dude. Like, they take people's... Watch some videos about magpies attacking people. It's funny, too, because they'll just peck the back of your head. And yeah, wear a helmet. No, they'll hit you hard enough and draw blood, and they have literally taken people's eyes out. It's no bullshit. Like literally taking out babies' eyes. I'm not shitting you. It's... But yeah, you just got to be wary of it. that is my Soldano plugin. So it's just basically, I'm just using a Soldano plugin here, and all it is delay and a boost pedal. That's it. That's a lead one. I've got one called lead, and it's just a boost pedal with delay. I think I've got the EQ pedal on. Yeah, the EQ is just boosting the 4K around 3% on the EQ side. That's all I am, boosting 4K, that's it. I've got a little bit of double O delay, and that's it. It's just the Neural DSP, sold done. Doing the typical overdrive boost, full level, tone about 1 o'clock, drive. I've got a little bit of drive to add even more gain, and that's about it. Using the stock IRs and stuff, just coming out the speakers, so yeah. Yeah, so that's just the Neural DSP Soldano plugin. If you haven't tried it out, one cool thing about Neural DSP, I think is it 15 days, could be 30 days. They could be like 2 weeks, but you check it out anyway. If you haven't tried out any of their plugins, you get to try them for free. It's one of the best things about Neural DSP. Before you buy it, you just you can try them out for free, every single one of their plugins. And this is my favourite. This Soldano Neural DSP just kicks ass. It's so awesome. Yeah, FM9, that's sick pedal too. Axe Effects definitely do well too, man. They're no slouch in the awesome tones department. And you're saying got my son a DSP. Is that like you're saying he's just got to plug in your son? What else we got here? I saw that one before, definitely right there in the room here. Do you know, Sven, do you know a lot of music theory, or do you mostly play by ear? So I've got basic, I'd say, music theory. So the first thing for me is knowing where I am on my fretboard would be the first thing. Then some scales mixed in with that. I started looking at modes, and you could learn all your 7 modes and all that type of thing. And then a lot of it was searching out things, a lot of learning songs. So you'll start to realise that a lot of songs you listen to use a lot of the same things. You start off with your pentatonic scales. Then you start with adding a little bit more into those. Then you start doing hammer-ons and pull-offs. Stretch it out. And you know that's in A, which is your 5th fret. Open on 5th string is 5th fret. Or 12th fret, 5th string. So you start to connect these dots. Once you start finding out you've got A and B, that's using your pentatonic. So you're like, yeah, cool, pentatonic scale. You learn it in A and E pretty much because you've got that's your 2 main ones to go for. Your low there, or the one straight below it. That's how I sort of started with rock and blues and stuff. Then you're like, well, if you're in E, do your pentatonic scale in E. That's if you're doing all leads and stuff, you know. And then, you know, you go, okay, well, another scale, you start learn your harmonic minor. You learn the first octave of that, then you learn the second octave of it. Like yeah, you're like, okay, cool, there's my harmonic minor. Then you learn, okay, well, that's Phrygian sort of, and Phrygian dominant. You just start learning more patterns, and you go, okay, well, you can play the harmonic minor in this position. You start to find little patterns within the scale. You start going, okay, well, harmonic minor's here. How about I do a little string skip? Then you just go to the school of Slayer and you go, okay, well, if they were going to do a riff and go, and then drop back straight to the low, you're like, well, how about I just make riffs and do the same as what Slayer does? So you jump between octaves and you're like, okay, that's pretty sick, that works. Then you go, you know, to me I pretty much incorporated into like lead playing, rhythm playing, and then like where lead and rhythm mix together somewhere. And so then what I did with that, so then, and you'll find out too, like, you can get lost in it and want to know all these different, you know, I even learned the major scale. The 2-octave position of that. But what you tend to find, and what I've found myself, and everyone can walk the path however they want to walk the path, okay? This is how I approach my guitar playing, is that I'm not attracted to the major scale. It's never been a scale that's like, I want to write riffs in that major scale. Now, you can also do the major scale, you can do it like up and down this way, or you can do it this way. You know? But it's not something I'm really attracted to. Like when I do that, and you could do it in A. Or, you know, just doing chord progressions off the major scale. like, to me, it's not really something I'm gonna gravitate towards. No matter how many times I try to find something in there, it's got that characteristic sound, doesn't it? It says to me, yeah, definitely punk. You know, so if, you know, I want to be a skater boy and see you later boy and not be good enough for her, then I'd definitely be into that. You know? I love it when you scale again. It's gonna make me sound like every single pop of band. And you know it's easy to but I want it a bit darker. And you'll get to find your tonal spot. Like if you want to be in that major world and you want to do that and that speaks to you, let it speak to you. That's cool. I'm not putting, in a way I am putting shit on it and making fun of it, because it's, to me it reminds me of being a kid, you know. And it's got that very, and for whatever reason, my social conditioning, just hearing it used in that context and the imagery and whatever it is, when I hear that, I'm just like, oh, yeah, no worries. So it's, you know, maybe I'm just the wanker who's just, you know, it's not that I'm against it, it's almost like you hear that, that's what's the socially acceptable, okay? And then you start hearing the darker stuff and you're like, well, what's going on over there? What are they doing over there? And for whatever reason, it starts to get into, now, we're getting into diminished territories now, aren't we? You know what I mean? So, yeah, and I think, like I said, you just got to do what speaks to you. That's my main point. Like, if that really spoke to me, that, and it's still fun. Do you know what I mean? Like, even when I'm making fun of it, I'm still enjoying it. It definitely is still the major stuff and that, because definitely I was 12 once, okay? And I was a kid once and I didn't understand, and I wasn't too sure what was happening. And if a band just come out doing how would it be? Whatever it is, you know, something, I would have really loved it when I was a kid, because I liked all those type of chord progressions and that more, you know, even blues progressions. That's it. And that's like isn't that like, it's like the first school of what you learn, just that simple. It's fun to play, and I want everyone to be in their fun spot, whatever that is, whatever is motivating you. And definitely when I was younger, I was loving that more just punky approach. And it was foreign to me at that age. Like, I'm like, where do you go? Why would you go? That's the Metallica chord progression too. Doesn't sound right when it's tuned down this low, but yeah. Yeah, Conquering Dystopia. Yeah, Conquering Dystopia is sick. It's cool, if that's what you're into. But that's why I'd say the whole point why I even brought up any of that sort of stuff was, okay, you can learn all this stuff, okay? But to me it's like, and you've just got to figure out, what do you want to learn? What are you trying to do with your instrument? What is your voice on the instrument? How do you want to express yourself? To me, knowing lots and lots of theory is like knowing lots of languages, okay? So if you want to know lots of languages and you want to converse in many languages, knock yourself out. I'm happy getting my point across in my one language, which I have submersed myself in. And a lot of metal, unless you're doing like neoclassical and stuff like that, and the composition side, and sort of doing a bit of like classical score type of thing mixed in with metal, then I don't think theory is really that needed. I just gotta go to the bathroom. And if you're and that's another thing, if you're someone who's multi, plays lots of instruments, and you play piano, and you want to do more like movie scores and all this type of thing, and have to understand theory and composition and movements and chord structures, and that's gonna help you. Like the Rick Beato style, how he knows all these knowledge stuff. It's gonna help, right? but I suppose who I am, there's an element of laziness too why I couldn't be bothered. And that's really what it comes down to. Like, it's what motivates you. And definitely I grew up around the blues rock, the 80s, you know, and you start to realise, okay, a lot of them they're just using 3 chords or 4 chords, and then someone does that. Even that bend I went too far. That was like a classic. It's weird, like, because it's in tuned down, all the things I play in E don't sound right. Always have a good sleep, Scorpio. And enjoy your practice, brother. Yeah, and that's so you just find yeah, this is C standard, this one. I'll grab something like E flat, I'll get my Slayer tuning out. Just gotta mute this. I might even go E standard. We'll go full old school. And I do love the tradition of guitar and more traditional ways of playing. And so I've got this Strat. So my roots are in the traditions of playing guitar and all those sort of little things you learn. And to play a lot of those songs, you know, you learn a lot of your chords and things like that. So if I go to that one, where there's a clean chorus. So I'll go like that. What does that say, buddy? So you know, when you're starting off, so you'll learn a lot of your you know, your open chords, cowboy chords, A, B, C, D, E minor in major, F, bar chord, or they'll do F there, or a G. You know, you learn. You learn all that sort of stuff, you learn. Some finger picking. Like, I literally love speakers there too. I love all types of guitar, playing and chords and whatever you got. Like, I respect it all, you know. That was a killer one, a thumb chord. Oh, missed it then, but you get the idea. You know, even like you come up playing stuff like. You learn. You know, you learn all of the classics, you know, the one you're not supposed to play. Not allowed to play that one. You know, the classic. The beginning one to Fade to Black is a classic. So yeah, still human. You don't play for a while. You know, missed that. But that's, you know, if you don't practice it, you can't get them going. But yeah, all your foundations of all that sort of stuff. They're just all classic, aren't they? They're nice chords, you know. What's that other one that goes? How's that go again? I like all of it, you know. It all depends, you know. He's not playing death metal. I know, poser. For real, bro. But the thought was, like, I love my death metal for sure, right? And what was the point of me coming out with a guitar channel teaching people how to play bar chords? Or how to play cover songs that you can go, there's 1,000 like apps and tablature and this and that out there to learn cover songs. You don't need me. All right, done, everyone here, love and light, good morning, good evening, good night. No worries, thanks for dropping in, Kalian. Have a good one, brother. So that was my point, like you can come on, I could come on here and be going, you know. Bar chords and like I think learning how to play clean is good because you can get dark with clean too, you know. Yeah, sweeping would be practice it a lot and find good lessons on it. I'm not the greatest at sweeping, but it's all about arpeggios at the end of the day. Just find arpeggios, start with 3-string sweeps, you know, or 4-string. But yeah, you know, I think sweeps, start with 3-string sweeps. And then work your way up. I'm not the greatest at sweep picking. You know, and then just start with, and see if you can incorporate more with that. And then but I'm shit at them. That's don't really, yeah, don't rate myself as a sweeper at all, or even like a full shred dude. So yeah, I got like a little bit of legato, a little bit of tapping, a little bit of stuff like that. But they're hard. The secret, sweep picking is and some people are natural at it. Like you see that cassette, you got 8-year-old kids who are just sweeping like machines. So it's a tough one. No band, brother. But yeah, so back to what I was. Yeah, I'm working on something. I'm gonna like try to release something. Talking with some people, just like get some singers involved. I think I'm going to do something just a bit more, let's say like, not as perfect, like some old school Carcass, early, bit sludgy death metal style. So definitely will have something coming out. But so yeah, and then it gets you into like, so these, like, I did start off more your traditional, all that, you know, covers. And I barely ever play clean. It's just something I like to mess with. I think it's a cool cool way of playing, all those classic things. And there are some death metal like that have clean intros, so it all depends. It all depends what you're trying to achieve. But we get back to the distortion style. Turn that down a bit. And so that's why, like, I could have done a covers channel, right, where I just said, here's all these classics and what's most popular and all of that. But to me, it's like totally overdone, and that's not where my heart is. Like, all of those covers I just played for you then, oh man, I barely ever play those. I'll be lucky if I play them, only for like now showing you I've played them, but I will not play them for myself if ever anymore. They're just like locked in my memory of like things I grew up with playing, because I've been playing since I was 12 years old and I'm 48, right? So I'm showing you my journey on the instrument, like where I've been, who I am, that type of thing. And I remember when I first heard like a lot of death metal, when I was like just playing the more simple chord stuff, I couldn't comprehend it. It was like, what's happening? This is just like, what the? I could not even figure out what was happening. A lot of the other stuff I could be like, oh yeah, I can hear you just doing those chords and looping 4 chords in sequences and they're nice and clean and all of that. There's also an element of, I think when you're growing up, there was a big part of my playing where I was pleasing other people. Whether it was for family members, women, trying to be accepted by society, where you're just like, oh, can I make a living with guitar if I play what everyone wants to hear? And the more commercial stuff and all of that, and that was a thing for sure. And I always liked my more extreme stuff, but it was always like not everyone liked it. It's very underground. And then I would say as you get older, for me it just became the extreme. I'm loving the extreme more than I ever have in my life, in my older age, because it speaks to me more now than anything ever has. Oh, the can. Oh yeah, we're getting to that stage, are we? Let me have a look. We're getting a low battery. We're getting a low battery mode. Yeah, so, and then we're starting the channel, so that means we're at 20% battery on the phone. What's the time now? I could probably set up my camera and jump back on, but we'll see how long we get with this one. So, and so yeah, what happened was, it's like a journey playing guitar, and yeah, work, life, all of those things, ups and downs, health. Once you go through a fair bit of stuff from 12 to 48. Also, lots of things you can go through. So then it got to the point where in 2019 I joined a Facebook group called Heavy Metal Amps and Pedals. And that group encouraged me to post videos. I was never someone that really did videos online, anything like that. The person who started that group, who's no longer part of it anymore, Joe Sansalone, and I hope he's out there doing okay. American guy who started that group. He encouraged, I remember the first time I posted one, he was like, "That's awesome, man. Keep them coming." He enjoyed what I did, and I was like, "Oh, that's good." It encouraged me. I was like, "No worries, I'll keep going." And then started seeing other people's videos and more professional ones, and I was like, "Man, how are you doing that?" learning how to work on amps, collecting pedals, all that type of thing. And then from that I started learning how to film, and you're very basic, just having a phone, to getting programs. I was always recording music but never mixing the audio together, all of that sort of stuff. So for years I was posting on this groups, and I started to make a bit of a name for myself in the Facebook group, where people would be like, sweet, like, I like your playing, all that type of thing. Let me chair out a bit here. Yeah, so people are like, yeah, I like your playing, all of that type of thing. And then from that, people would reach out to me and they'd say, oh, I'm just picking the guitar back up again, I like the way you riff out. Can you give me some pointers, like what is your thought pattern? Why, how and why are you playing what you're playing? How did your picking hand get that way? All these different questions. They just reach out to me in the messages, and I'd always be, I'll give you some, no worries, hit us up, give us a call, I'll just give you a video call lesson, we'll discuss it, I'll show you some things to work on, what I like to do. And that went on for like 3 years, just doing that. Where anyone that reached out to me, I'd just be like, yeah, no worries. Because I just liked encouraging people, like if you're getting back into the guitar and that, I'm like, no worries man, I'll hook you up, all good. Was never, and so from that, I just went, okay, one of the guys I was giving lessons to, who actually was retired military from New York, that's Crazy Scorpio, he's got a band called, I think it's Against the, what is it? I should remember it. I think it's Against the something, what is it? I'll figure it out. Against the Rain or something, I think. Where is he? Yeah, Against the Rain. I got it right. Yep, Against the Rain. So that's his band. So he started getting back into playing, right? Yeah, so no, I think it's making a difference, String Dojo. So yeah, his name's Brian, and he's ex-military, and he was just starting a band, and he was like, a bit rusty, and was like, he appreciated the way I was playing. He was like, this guy can play, if I can pick his brain, he'll be able to help me. So I was helping Brian out, and we were talking, and he's like, I said, oh, and then you're trying to post things on Facebook, and where do you put them? I said, you know what, I'll create some tabs for you, here's some easy stuff you can work on, and I just threw it up on YouTube. And that's how it pretty much all started. So Brian, who's in this band Against the Rain, and he's getting better and better as a player and more into it, and his community in New York, we'll have to put a link to his page at some point. I'm trying to get him on the channel, but they always get a bit worried, or he's busy too, wife and band, he's got practice tomorrow. So that's how this whole thing started. And then I was almost like, what am I doing here on YouTube? And I knew I wanted the more extreme metal approach, right? Because I think just all the other stuff, covers I think are just completely overdone on YouTube. Nothing against them, just because I've got to enjoy doing this. That was half the thing too. It's not like you shouldn't do covers or anything. I just didn't want to spend my time playing guitar, practicing and doing that just to play other people's songs, and the whole copyright, navigating that, and learning how to play other people's songs. I'm actually too lazy to play covers properly, because I never play them quite right. I half-ass them the best I can. And so from all of that, I was almost like, what am I doing here? And I created that easy death metal patterns, which I've never seen before. It was just like, here's something easy to play. And it basically came from, and if you've seen this video, I was like, okay, here's a simple, like that. Go down a bit. And just move it up. I was like, there you go, that's something easy you can do. The classic, I call it 1-4 finger method. And for whatever reason, that video got picked up by YouTube and people watched it, and in 1 week I got 1,000 subscribers. And I was like, holy crap, okay. And then it's been over, a bit over a year and a half now, I'd say. Or July next year will be 2 years on YouTube. And the more people leave comments, the more I go, okay, you like this, you don't like this, and then I started going like, oh, I want to try and grow this channel. Okay, so what do I have to do? And still, but keeping it just like my approach. Here you go, legends. Starting off with that. How's it going, legends? That wasn't really like a thought out thing. That was just more just like, I'm an Aussie. You'd be like, how's it going, legend? It's like, how's it going, mate? How's it going, friend type of thing. Just using the way we talk in Australia. Don't try to put on anything that I'm not. If you've watched my videos, the way I'm talking now, you can see it's pretty much the same thing. It just takes a lot more. I suppose I want to be, the way I talk, I'll probably make a lot more mistakes on a live stream because I'll be blah blah and you get tongue tied and all that sort of stuff. And the ums, you try to cut out the ums because it's basically you're not trying to waste people's time, is the whole thought pattern when you're trying to make a video. And then from that, I was like, okay, and people sometimes will ask for more information. They're just like, oh, what's the technical, what's the scale? Now, what I think I've done and what I'm noticing with my channel and what I want to do with easy death metal patterns, my whole idea is encouraging people and not trying to make people feel like you can't have fun on the guitar or you can't, or this is all too much. Because there's a lot of theory people out there, and I think that's another thing that's covered. Okay, like if you want to go down the whole theory rabbit hole and knowing every reason why I'm doing it, and I can definitely articulate all that stuff and go, look, we take the harmonic minor scale and we've got, and go, you've got freaking tone. It's a tone, semitone, tone, semitone, tone plus a semitone, and then semitone. And I could give you all that, and it's a flat this, and it's a flat second. I could give you all the technicalities of it, but at the end of the day, when I started playing, all I heard was all gallops, I don't need to know key signatures and all the modes to know that I like it. And the fact that you can just grab any note you want. So I just grabbed any note. There was no rhyme or reason then. And I would say the more like it isn't supposed to be, the more, that's called dissonance, right? And I could go could start my videos and go, to use these type of structures will create more dissonance, and this is this, and these are, I could say, this is a scale chords have got the fifth in it. It's got the fifth note of the scale, and that's why it's called a D5 chord. And I could get into all of that sort of stuff, which I've looked into, but I think people aren't coming, and what I've set up my channel is almost like, and that's why I start having fun with it and just go, here's a meal deal. It's like you're going for a drive-through, you just want to grab a little burger, a little drink, and then you want to be on your way. You don't want to sit down for dinner, you don't want to have to cook it, you don't want to waste your time and mess around. It's like, you know what, this sounds cool. And then you could tremolo pick that right. You can octave chord it. Almost sounds like Three Little Pigs, doesn't it? But then you could mix that up with and people always love the, or black chord, black metal. So all of that, and then I was like, okay, well, tremolo picking doesn't require to know theory, gallops don't require that, down picking, and knowing that you'll find that in a lot of like metal, there's a lot of patterns, and this all loops back to, if you've been watching this from the beginning, how I was doing the major scale and all of that. Why do I even need to know the major scale if I'm never going to use it? And to know all the different positions and stuff like that. I literally am never going to use that. It just doesn't appeal to me anymore. The stuff, and what I've noticed is, I've looked at all the different shapes and patterns, and you can learn scales where you just start going. You're like, okay, that's probably cool if you want to do some legato. So it does have its place, but a lot of the time you'll find out that you'll just search out notes and you like the sound of them. That's just finding that. Playing long enough, you'll figure out you like the shape of that. And you'll just go, because it's all you're doing is you're doing 3 notes at a time. See, straight away. That didn't sound, I didn't like that. So I was just like, and that all comes from playing. Or that. Or dimes. Puts a delay on them ones. You always, when you do a single notes, you always got to have a bit of delay. I love it. And then you get to that, they're freaking. Like, I don't know what the theory is behind that, but I like the sound of. And if I can do it with legato. one of the classic things people will do, they'll just ascend and descend the same shape. Do two of them. That's three. That'd be like a descending rope. You could do 3 notes with a tap. Yeah, so that's what I find, because you'll notice, like, at the end of the day, scales are just, majority of scales are 7 notes, right? You do have some 8-note scales, but majority, if we take just the harmonic minor, which is my favourite, that's all there is, and then it just repeats the octave. But that's your octave. It's just a 2-octave harmonic minor scale. They're the same notes, right? And if you play it on from here to here between the 12th fret, that's all your notes on guitar. Just repeats in an octave. That's it. They're just octaves on top of octaves. And then if you were to play it on the one string between the... You're just playing the same notes. That's just the harmonic minor. That's it. That's all you're going to do. If you use them 7 notes, it's all. If you just stay within the harmonic minor scale, that's all you're ever going to use. The only thing is you might throw in an octave above that. So if you were to grab the, you could have, which is the octave of the 2nd fret, and so that's all they'll do in riffs. They'll have like, and then if you like the sound of just going back 1 fret, then just do it and grab it. And just go, oh yeah, there you go. And that's all you're doing. That's literally all these people are doing. They're just, but then what they do, they can navigate over to things. To say they want to do string skipping. Can you jump over? Over to, the 3rd string off the top string. And then. Do you want the big 4-finger chords? All of them. Up to you. How do you want to? But at the basis of all of everything I'm doing, there's a root note. There's your root note of that one if you do the 4-finger. Do you want it messed up and just do the diminished ones with lots more dissonance? The black metal style, There it is there, I want it. There we go. Always does it, eh? We're up to the next. We're down to the last 10%. Last 10% of battery. So you get the idea of what I'm saying. Thanks TBD for hanging out, brother. Appreciate it. No worries, it's only like, what is it here? 3:48 PM on a Saturday. So no, thanks for hanging out, TBD. I appreciate it, mate. So you get the point of whatever it is I'm doing. So that's why I started calling things patterns, because you'll find there's certain chords and patterns that you gravitate towards. This is one thing I've learned over 30 years of playing. Searching all the books, trying to learn all the theory, is that, I tell you what, I think knowing your notes and how to navigate your fretboard is the most important. Theory, if you can remember theory from a point of learning scales that through what are tones and semitones, the gaps in between the frets, whole steps, half steps, that type of thing. If you've got a good memory for that, I would recommend that. Just if you're starting off, because all it's teaching you is if a harmonic minor, because it's the one I know the most, the one I use all the time. You've got a whole step, that's whole step, half step, whole step, whole step, half step, and then it's a whole step and a half step, and then half step to finish on the octave. And that is the key to that scale. So when you see and it's got like T or S or HW, all it's saying is whole is 1 fret, half is, whole is 2 frets up, and half is 1 fret. And it's a semitone or a tone. And that's all it is. So, and it does help you to know, and that's like the modes. If you ever look at the modes, they start on C, and then if you just move it up 1 note and go to D, then that is the next mode. I think it's Lydian. And you'll see that, because what it is, there's no sharps and flats between E and F and B and C. So as you move, say you start on the Ionian mode, which is C, and you just go C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, that's your octave. Then you start on the D, and that becomes the next mode. Then you start on the E, and what's going to happen is, if you start on the E and you just follow each step of notes, it's going to start off with a semitone or a half step, and then it's going to go tone, tone, and once you get to the B and C from E and F, that's going to be your half step. And that's the way modes work. It's just basically as you move up one mode, you just drop it back a note, and then it's like the set of notes start again, because there's only 7 notes when you're looking at modes. The easiest way to look at it like that, if you're not starting on that same note as the major scale, then you've got sharps and flats involved, so obviously there's going to be more notes. But the easiest way to figure it out, and if you can go online and look this up, it's just going to be half steps, whole steps, and you'll get through all the 7 modes by just moving up one. And they said, what is it? There's like some, there's like a little rhyme thing you can do just to remember the pattern. But what you'll find, and what I've found, is as you learn each one of those modes, you'll find there's certain modes you don't care for. And I recommend you looking at that. Look at all the modes. There might be one that you love. You might love Dorian, you might love Lydian, you might love Mixolydian, you might love all of it, right? You figure it out yourself, because it's your ears, it's your brain, it's your life, it's your influences that are telling you what you want to hear, right? And we'll tie this all off with a bow now of why I've done the channel the way I've done it. Is, to me, my guitar playing is all about just having fun and tuning out from the world and just enjoying it, right? And so that's the approach I've taken to the channel. It's like, okay, here's the simple pattern. And I came up with one today I've put on the Patreon. I think it was like that. That was it. I did it with power chords as well. And I just like the notes of those, because I'm jumping the octave, and then you're jumping that one note back, which you could bend that. Just enjoying the sounds and whatever that is. I like how that's a nice octave. Sounds messed up, you can bend it into where it needs to be. To me, that's almost very Alice in Chains. Jerry Cantrell would do that, like just having that nice sounding note and then stepping it back into that. Yeah, you could start a pre-bend. Oh, they're all good. Do I have to choose one? It's like, do I like chicken, bacon, or steaks better? I like them all. I like bacon, I like steak, I like chicken. They're all good. I like D, I like E flat, because E flat's Slayer, D standard, that's like some old school Pantera Machine Head. C is getting close to B, so we're getting the Carcass old school. I like B, I like A flat, I like E standard, this one's E standard, you got the classic. Make E standard great again. That's what it is. That's what I want. Makes me want to learn some old Hendrix again. play covers because I never play them properly and always mess them up. So if you play your own stuff, you can never get in trouble for not playing them. And you just improvise, you never get in trouble for not playing your own stuff properly. Always works out pretty good, that. I think it's half the reason too. Play covers, people are like, what are you doing? You're not playing it right. So that's another reason probably why I do a lot of this, just have fun, improvise. It's all in there, mashed together. My best effort at trying to play stuff. So you get the idea, so yeah. Thanks for hanging out. I think the battery will be dying pretty soon. And there's some pointers. You said String Dojo, you're on my Patreon, so yeah, I dropped a couple of riffs and workout things and all sorts of stuff over there. So you can follow, if you're interested, you can go 50 cents USD a week. If you sign up from an Apple phone, it costs more because Apple wants, I think it's 30%. If you just use the Apple app and not your computer, Apple wants 30% of the cut. So I think it's, yeah, I've done this thing where that'll just get put on extra, but it's $2 a month. I'm thinking of even doing like a yearly subscription thing or something. We'll look into that. But yeah, if you're interested in that, 50 cents a week, a month. I've got over a year's worth of information, everything that I've done on the channel for the last year. Majority of the tabs, lessons, yeah, some back and drum tracks and things like that. I think for 50 cents a week, it's pretty good value for what you get out there. I know a lot of other guitar players who are doing YouTube charge a lot. They charge like $30 or something for access to their lesson plans. And that's why I keep it a bit more simple, a bit more laid back there. I'll look at doing courses and things like that later on, but yeah, you can just follow the link from my channel. In the description or below there'll be links to my Patreon. That's pretty much all I try to sell. Don't try and sell you ads and all that type of stuff. And I've already had some companies reach out to me with some cheaper products and be like, you want to flog this off on your channel and we'll give you some free stuff, and I'm like, nah. It's not going to happen unless, like I said, it's brands that I have been supporting for the last 20 to 30 years. Then yeah, certain string manufacturers, I would use their strings. If they're good quality strings, you know, I'd be like, oh, here's the strings I use, picks. I pretty much use Ernie Ball and DUNN products. If GHS Fast Fret would endorse me, I'd support that. This stuff here, been using this for years. I love Fast Fret. Yeah, but I'll just keep having fun with it, man, like I'm doing. Because I think that's something that I'm feeling in the YouTube space, is I think there's a lot of people that are very manufactured and not real. And I think the world is going back to genuine people again. I think this whole things written out, scripts, I never script any of my videos. The only thing that will be written out is the actual tabs and things like that, and I'll literally do that on the day, majority of the time. Yeah, and it's just more just encouraging people to play and have fun with it, and just being who I am. I'm just like, how's it going, legends? I'm just an Aussie dude who loves playing guitar, who's got my guitar room and sharing that with the world, and people are responding to it. And it seems to be, just keep it real, keep it genuine. You don't see heaps of cuts with mine, like I'm like, oh, I've got to think what I've got to say. I'm just like, here it is, have a go. And that all came from Easy Death Metal Patterns. If that video didn't blow up, I definitely probably, I wouldn't have known what I was doing. Because I tried to do the more like manufacture, I suppose, I don't know. and then I noticed people started responding to the realness and just being myself and just having fun with it, and it's grown. I'm still tripped out by it, to tell you the truth. Oh no, I lost a subscriber. So you even lose one. I got the count on. That's weird how you lose them, but whatever. People are actively like, nah, I don't like this dude, I'm unsubscribing, so. I might have to start one of those political channels soon too, because they seem to do pretty good on YouTube. Just start talking about what's been happening in the world and your channel will blow up and you'll get millions of views. Get on the whole political thing and pick a side. That seems to be working at the moment, but hey. We'll see. I'm half thinking about doing that, throwing me hat in that ring, just because I can. But I don't know. I'll tell you what, you get a lot more views and all you have to do is give your opinion on what you think about the world. Could be interesting. Some Aussie opinions.